The night was draped in an inky darkness as Sarah navigated her way through the winding roads that cut through the dense forest. Tall, skeletal trees reached towards the heavens, their branches casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance in the pale moonlight. The only sounds were the soft hum of her engine and the occasional rustle of leaves in the cool breeze. Sarah's knuckles whitened as she gripped the steering wheel, her eyes flickering nervously to the rearview mirror. She had been driving for hours, and the isolation of the desolate road was starting to play tricks on her mind. Thoughts of horror stories she had heard as a child began to crawl into her consciousness. The radio, once a comforting companion, crackled to life with a sudden burst of static. She furrowed her brow, reaching to adjust the dial, but the noise persisted. The hairs on the back of her neck stood on end as a whisper emerged from the radio's white noise, almost too low to discern. "Turn back, Sarah." Her heart skipped a beat, and she glanced around the empty car, as if expecting someone to materialize in the back seat. She shook off the unease, attributing the strange message to a signal glitch. She continued driving, but an unsettling feeling lingered in the air. As she delved deeper into the heart of the forest, the road became narrower, the dense canopy above casting the surroundings into an impenetrable darkness. The only source of light was her car's headlights, cutting through the night like a feeble sword against the encroaching shadows. Sarah's eyes darted anxiously between the road ahead and the rearview mirror. A flicker of movement caught her attention, a shadowy figure appearing and disappearing at the edge of the headlight's glow. She dismissed it as a trick of her tired mind, but the feeling of being watched intensified. The whispering returned, a chorus of hushed voices weaving through the static. "Abandon hope, Sarah." Her breath caught in her throat, and a shiver crawled down her spine. The forest seemed to close in around her, the trees leaning in as if conspiring with the voices in the radio. Panic gripped her as she considered turning back, but a gnawing curiosity kept her pressing on. The road twisted and turned, leading her into a clearing surrounded by ancient trees. The moon cast an eerie glow, revealing an old, dilapidated mansion at the clearing's center. It stood like a ghost from the past, its windows shattered and its walls weathered by time. Sarah hesitated, her gaze fixated on the mansion. It seemed to beckon her, drawing her towards its foreboding presence. The whispering grew louder, the voices now distinct and hauntingly familiar. They spoke of regrets, of lost souls trapped in the decaying mansion's web. With trepidation, Sarah stepped out of her car and approached the creaking front door. The air inside was thick with the musty scent of decay. Floor groaned under each step, and shadows danced across the walls like specters playing a macabre game. As she explored the mansion's dimly lit corridors, the whispers became more insistent, revealing tales of tragedy and despair. She stumbled upon a room adorned with dusty furniture, where a long-forgotten family portrait stared back at her. The faces in the paintings seemed to come alive, their eyes pleading for release from the haunted halls. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted, the air growing colder as the whispers transformed into anguished cries. Sarah felt an unseen force pull at her, urging her to leave the mansion and never return. Panic set in, and she sprinted through the twisting corridors, the cries echoing in her ears. Back outside, she stumbled into the moonlit clearing, her breaths heavy and erratic. The mansion loomed behind her, its windows now glowing with an otherworldly light. The voices in the radio returned, now a symphony of sorrowful wails that seemed to resonate from the very depths of the forest. Terrified, Sarah sprinted to her car, fumbling with the keys to start the engine. As the car roared to life, she sped away from the haunted mansion, the cries and whispers fading into the distance. The forest released its grip, and the road opened up before her, leading her away from the nightmarish ordeal. The forest, once a mysterious labyrinth, now lay behind her. The road stretched ahead, bathed in the glow of her car's headlights. Sarah drove through the night, haunted by the echoes of the mansion's tragic past, forever etched in the recesses of her memory. The whispers lingered, a chilling reminder of the thin veil between the living and the restless spirits that sought solace in the darkness.